Challenger Series. What's up, guys? I am David Freak Turley. With me is apparently the less agile than before, Aiden, Zyrie, and Moon. But that's okay. Flexibility not required in shoutcasting. We are minutes away from our second game. It's fun. Between NME eSports and TDK tonight.
It's not required in shoutcasting?
Agility. All you have to do is talk.
Well, my interview was a little weirder than yours, I guess. But here's a look at their comp when they squared off last night. You can see here, they had a pretty decent composition here. Double AD that has a rumble in it for TDK. I think this is how you should build it, with either really hard engage from your support and your jungler, or disengage from those two roles.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage, and I'm glad they have an AP top laner for mixed damage, but unfortunately for TDK, they couldn't quite pull the victory as really just the playmaking ability of NME was so high. Inox, converted mid laner this season, just went off on that Kassadin. The individual playmaking, again, right, Sivir getting to pick fights, Morgana having good follow-up for that, Kassadin, Rek'Sai getting to do individual things, made them very strong, and in fact, let's see how that all played out.
Yeah, talking about it, and now we're going to show it. Inox, converted to the mid lane, but Trashy moved over from another country to be here. Know him from H2K if you watch the European Challenger Series, and he sets up Inox, that new mid laner, with a 5-minute first blood.
Flash Q Ignite pretty darn strong here. Bot lane trades, though. I'm actually so surprised that Otter and Body Drop did well against Sivir versus Draven, but so much damage output here when you land bindings.
Yeah, here's the thing, is that Boomerang Blades still hit both of them again. And watch, they just continue to go through. They have to deal with Otter and Body Drop.
Oh, that bind was so good.
Because they're coming in here. Trashy flashes in to get the knock-up and just starts going hard on this team. Louis and his support, Smoothie, were losing that 2-on-2 for so long that this is a full-on 5-on-5 in the bot lane at 15 minutes. Everybody just shows up. It is a party down there.
A Dragon attempt. Third one did go to TDK for this one, but these binds from Body Drop on point all day.
Gets chunked out right there, and now he has to abandon this fight, and it's the trail off here. When your AD carries are now your front line, they are so squishy, and you're going to see it right here.
Yeah, you can see the power of the Equalizer. It does give them a brief respite, but Flares is too big to die anymore, and he CCs the whole team, basically.
Runs up Kyle, so squishy, and the double AD carry comp crumbles underneath NME, and they're just sustained pressure.
Yeah, when you get bursted out before your poke and general AoE goes down, it's not going to work well for you. And then you can just dive when you're ahead like this.
And this is the final fight here. You're going to see Inox picking up 1 kill, 2 kills, goes for Smoothie, picks up his 3rd.
Kai's going to die. By the way, spoiler alert, this is the one where the Pentacle gets stolen.
Quadra kill.
Zonia's.
And here comes the Rift Walk. Can he get it?
Nope.
No, it's the Tormented Soil. Body Drop. Doesn't even drop. He has to live up to his name. He has to drop at least 1 body that fight.
He did. Came back up, but it doesn't matter. So NME, of course, great performances. Inox, a guy I got to highlight, 16, 1, and 9. Was an underperforming top laner from Evil Geniuses last split. Well, guess what? He's a pretty darn good mid laner right now in Challenger. Otter, also the AD carry Sivir. Again, Sivir versus Draven, not an easy matchup, but his support made it easy.
Yeah, the big thing here for me, though, is Trashy moving over here was a big risk for the team.
Yeah.
They didn't try him out, and he just instantaneously meshed with the team, took over the shot calling. If you watched EU Challenger, you'll know Trashy from H2K and SKP for a little bit. This guy was extremely aggressive, and he would force things, and that would come back to bite him. Since then, he's actually scrimmed against a lot of LCS teams, and when I talked to him, he's like, I really like Meteos' playstyle. We're going to go ahead and start adopting that.
And yeah, it's really cool to see his play style transition. Adaptability, definitely one of the strongest skills of a player. You can sometimes play purely to your own strength, but if you can learn new strength, it just gives you more things you're able to do. Rek'Sai, of course, definitely one of the higher damage junglers, means he can still hold on to a lot of that old style, but he's definitely done a really good job of keeping the overall game in mind.
Yeah, he plays more controlled now than he did before. He's not going in for all of these risky kills. He's going for the safe kills. So I really think that he's improved his play and adjusted to a style that is better for him as a whole.
And so overall, it means that NME as a team look to be one of the scariest teams in Challenger. Now, they are one of the best looking in the online qualifiers. They're one of the best looking in the off-season throughout various tournaments. ESL put on a couple.
Yeah, they just might be the best looking in general. Did you just see Trashy on your screen?
It's true.
Looks like Iceman from Top Gun.
It's true. He is. He's a stone cold killer as well. But the big thing also, you know, Nian said he thinks that they would be ready for them on Fusion. We'll have to see, though. Meanwhile, TDK kind of have looked fairly middling for a while. They did manage to qualify, so they clearly have played well enough to get here, but they are one of the dark horses of the Challenger Series right now.
Yeah, you look at their lineup, you see Kez and Seraph, two players that in the LCS did not have successful splits. Kez is known as a very reserved shot caller, and when he's up against somebody like Trashy who forces the issue, this is going to be really interesting to watch because it's kind of a clash of opposites. Kez is going to back up and concede objectives, and Trashy is going to take it and then take even more.
Yes. And I just want to point out, we haven't talked about TDK very much in this pregame as they go into Champ Select. When this team was made, they basically wanted to make a Korean NA team. The goal is for this team to play in Korean. Seraph, yes, is the old CLG Seraph. Kez, a Korean American, speaks the language as well. Kyle and Lewis XGG, they pulled in from Korea as, oh, I forget the official term for players outside of the, there's residents and there's like exempt and non-residents. Yeah, so Seraph is the one exempt non-resident, Kyle and Lewis XGG being just non-residents, and the rest from NA.
So they formed that team to play in Korean, like you said.
Yep.
They need to win lane phase, though.
Yeah.
That is a big thing here for TDK, is their laning phase is okay, but they fall into that challenger pitfall of when you ask them, how do you win games? It's like,
we win lane!
We win lane, and then we win the game from there. When you are facing equally skilled, if not better opponents, counting on winning lane is not a good strategy.
Right.
You need more than that. You need decisive shot calling, you need team cohesion, and they are not on that level just yet, but given some time, they could get there.
Well, Kez, of course, a very experienced shot caller. We saw him on Complexity. That is, of course, the old Kez as well. Had some good runs with Complexity. They would typically win their long games, and I do attribute a lot of that to Kez being able to navigate the team. Right, exactly. So TDK, if they can bring him out far enough, maybe Kez can bring in his old experience here. But the first pick, Janna, to get ourselves back into the champion set of things, will give TDK the ability to disengage and play longer games.
Yep. That long game is where Kez thrives. Hashtag 80 minutes the dream. He was a part of that. And I remember talking to Prawley, and he was saying that Kez is the guy who's like, no, you don't need to fight that. Back up. And he'd probably be like, no, I want to fight. And he's like, no, get out. You don't have to fight that.
Yep. Seed objectives, live to fight another day in a higher percentage fight. Smart choices overall. The Kalista, though, that was so feared in the Fusion matchup there that was first picked or banned by them, is going to go over here to Otter, though. He had a great Sipper game, 5-1 and 20, I believe. Now he's giving Kalista a more individual playmaker, and lo and behold, Graves Janna, the matchup chosen to face against Kalista.
Yep, it's a matchup that is extremely good. Better base stats, more just auto attack damage too. Overall, you want to take Kalista out with auto attacks early and absorb some of it. It's the matchup to do it with. They put the Morgana on there, though, to make sure that Kez didn't pick up something like a Vi or something that can dive this and lock it down, so it helps Kalista stay mobile.
Yeah, even the Vi steal comes in all the same. And the thing is, at this point now, Sion and Morgana are flex picks. I was wondering when we were going to start seeing Sion support. I've been waiting for, like, since the rework, essentially, to see when Sion support came in. We did see it in the off-stream games yesterday, exactly. You can find the VODs. We actually did some of the highlights of it earlier today. So I don't know where Morgan and Sion are going.
Morgana doesn't strike me as an Inox champion, though. He likes champions that go in, right? So a lot of these, like, I just even want to jump at the bans here. A lot of these are targeted across the board. Like mid laner, NME eSports wants to set Inox up with the best matchup possible. That's why they're also last picking him, so that he knows what he's getting into here.
Yeah.
And if it is a flex pick, you know, they have the option to send him into a bad matchup or a good matchup. They're going to send him into the good one every time.
Well, Vlad top lane is going to be the grab here for Seraph with Azir mid, I assume. Although I guess I've seen this champion in the other roles as well. Haven't seen Vlad in a very long time. I also got to point out, no J-Span and Kyle didn't go for it. If you guys don't know Kyle, he is like the epitome of the Jace god from Korea. And to not ban it and then not pick it as well by TDK is surprising to me.
Yeah, you ever see like Master Challenger Jace videos? It's usually Kyle, but he got it one time, I think, in the past. And then people were like, never again. And then I remember Reddit was like, why are you giving Kyle Jace? And they risk it here, too. But he doesn't pick it up. Instead, they ban out 3 other champions from that mid lane and say that we can handle your Jace.
The bigger individual playmakers go away, and they say, I dare you to play with Poke. So he picks Azir, and he's going to try for it with this one. Again, we are on 5.2, so it is the old version of that champion. Yeah, the pre-nerf Azir, the right way to say it. Xerath will go mid lane for NACS, so he will play something back and safe. Yeah. Now the question is it top or support Sion and Morgana? Looks like top Sion, support Morg.
Yep.
Played it last time. I'm not that surprised.
Pretty standard across the board. That's boring. Anyway, I mean, they're basically playing almost the same thing they did yesterday in terms of what they want to accomplish, except Inox, he's on a pokey champion.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's not going to kill Azir in lane. Right. Azir is a very difficult champion to get to in lane. You have to go really hard on dive. You had to pick something ridiculous, like maybe like an Akali or something, to continue to get to him. But even then, you have to outplay his wall. So he's just going to sit back and be like, all right, you know what? I don't always have to kill you in lane. I can sit back and poke and be a siege tool for my team. I want to see how this works out for Inox, though. Because that does not strike me as his style.
He did at least play old Nidalee back before she had to use Cougar for him.
He was poking all the time.
Yeah, so
it is a poke champion just like it.
There is some of that instinct still left over for Inox. And again, you expect any top-level player to be able to emulate more than one style. I think players will always be best at one given style, whatever their natural inclination was, but they can get that second style to like a 90% mark. And Inox, again, used to play Nidalee all the time, so it's something that I expect he's going to be okay at regardless. But getting our team comps in, you still have to give a pretty big edge to the team with all this great poke power, the Azir, the Janna to back it up, the Graves as follow-up, but TDK haven't looked the sharpest. Yeah,
TDK, their team cohesion leaves something to be desired. They need to get through laning phase, even or ahead, to actually operate. Whereas NME can pretty much operate at any stage in the game as a team, as players. They don't really care about momentum too much.
Yeah. Well, Flares does. He's playing Sion. All he has is momentum.
Sometimes you just can't stop it. There's no brakes.
No brakes in the Sion train. But we are here into the rematch between TDK and NME. NME, of course, did win yesterday. We just saw those highlights a minute ago. In a fairly long game, but controlled all the same by these guys. What I'm interested by, though, is TDK bringing out the Vlad top. Haven't seen that in quite some time. Seraph was actually touted to be a more carry top laner. CLG didn't really get that out of him. TDK just might. And also, we have this Graves Janna lane that's supposed to win against this NME bot duo.
What you laughing at, Trashy? Take a sand soldier to the face.
Doesn't even care.
Yeah. But Seraph, like you said, when he came over, people were like, Lissandra highlights. Whoa, who is this guy? And his Nidalee highlights were really just crazy. And then he comes in and he's like, Shyvana.
Yeah.
Renekton. Playing all the meta things, and people were like, Dave 35 of the LCS. When is Seraph going to play a carry? And you never got to do it.
The one I remember actually of him was he was Jax against LMQ, and he started out 2-0, and then still lost to Ackerman when he was like a level up and 2 kills ahead, who was on Shyvana that game. Yep. And that was like my quintessential like Seraph moment where it was like, how do you not win a game at that point? So hopefully he's shaking off the jitters, shaking off the rust, and he's in good shape here. The Vlad I do want to see do well. He's going to start Kez off in the jungle, and it's, by the way, a lane swap here for NME.
Yep.
No deep wards by TDK means they didn't see it coming necessarily. NME going to start up the freeze while Janna Graves are doing their crux.
No deep wards from anybody because of the fact that they had done battle lines. Nobody could really shove in. So they get the lane swap, and now Body Drop is harassing this.
He's getting a lot of gold income for this one. Kez Seraph losing health. Smite is down, by the way. There's always a chance.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. Kez got it.
You gotta go between those ticks, Kez. You got it. So he's good.
Yeah, took all the CS, but Body Drop did deal plenty of damage. Thankfully, duo jungling is a fairly safe thing to do. Flares did not, by the way, go to cheese the camp at the start of the game. Trashy and Flares are going to take their bottom camp as soon as possible. They know actually this camp would be contestable by the duo lane that TDK put down there, so they rush to it before it can be stopped.
And TDK do nothing about it. Smoothie doesn't even walk up. Here's the thing, though, is that by this point, Trashy's already level 2. Whereas on the TDK side, when they went to harass, Kez was only level 1. Right? So there's no possible way that he has like a stat advantage or skill up advantage, whereas Trashy would have Vault Breaker by this point and could close the distance on Smoothie.
So overall, good things done in the laning phase. So far, seems equal. The top laner's not getting much farm. The AD carry is basically free farming here. The CS lead you're seeing that's different is just because Otter is freezing, so more minions are alive for him to kill.
And this is actually the first lane swap of the North American Challenger Series.
That's true.
Even including the games from yesterday. So watching these two teams and how they deal with this is going to be very interesting. I know Seraph has experience in lane swaps. Not always the most fruitful, but Flair's also coming off a little LCS stint as well from Winter Fox.
That's true, and he was a pretty decent player there. They did get their 1 win over Gravity, so he's done some good work. Flair's right now being actually left alone to farm right there. He actually pulled in the Morgana support. They are 2v1ing the Graves right here. I want to know what Janna's up to. Smoothie helping with Seraph. I don't think it's going to be very fruitful.
In lane swap, though, there aren't many things that are fruitful. They sit around.
There's a couple lanes that actually are quite good when you have like Jack plus a CC support. You end up having these really good stun combos.
When you get a Bruiser with a CC support.
Yeah.
When like an Annie's running around in the game.
Yeah, like Annie Jax is scary as crap.
Yeah.
I don't want to face that lane ever.
So, facing a Nemesis draft as a normal lane.
Sure, why not?
Speaking of things that are scary, Louis, this guy was not faring well at all yesterday. He was getting killed in a 2-on-2 without jungle assistance on the enemy team. It was really rough. He looked like he could not stack up next to Otter, so they pick him the best lane possible, right? The Graves Janna to deal with the Kalista, but then NME lane swap it, so he doesn't even get the matchup.
And now I want to see how well Otter farms in the 1-on-2. So far, Louis was doing okay farming under his turret. Trashy does get spotted. Tornado says hello, but Rend is still here. Otter's still doing some decent damage. Pops it in. Out he goes.
So Otter's going to have to auto attack, get some HP back here. Seraph has more potions left in the tank, so he's got the sustained advantage. But these AD carries and these lane swaps are not completely safe.
No.
You get to the point where the bruisers and the top laners kind of shoot past you in power within a support next to them.
I think right now it's mostly when the jungler shows up, because neither air quotes top laner has great hard CC, so the follow-up is kind of not there. But if Vi or Rek'Sai do show, then it is. And it means that board control has to be given to these AD carries. Or support.
Boom! Out of nowhere. But this wave is shoving up really hard. And so that's going to give Seraph some extra CS. He's going to be in a good spot. And that means that it's a 1-on-1 down bottom for Flares and Louis.
Now Sion 1 level down because he shared his lane for so long, is poking out against Graves a little bit. He's already recalled for Pickaxe though, meeting Flares. Not going to be in the best of situations in this matchup.
Trashy knows that there aren't a lot of wards in this area, so he's actually just going to walk up.
A lot of harass. It could be a flash vault breaker, maybe.
Nope,
already the flash by Louis GG.
They get the flash. Flares. He takes a lot of minion damage there, though. Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just yells.
Here comes Inox.
Wow. They did not see Inox coming down. He walked through his own pink ward, but Trashy gives it away, I think. Maybe they pinged him out. Burns the someone heal from move speed, but wow, that shout on the minions means first blood for Trashy.
That was a huge collaborative effort there from all 3 members of NME to make that kill happen.
And there's more happening in this top lane too. Otter and Body Drop. I don't know why I said Inox. Having their way with the sort of unconventional dual lane of TDK all the same. Already looking at NME's game.
Man, MVP of that kill was Louis' own minion. It betrayed him.
It did. It got afraid of Sion yelling at it.
It ran right at him and was like a little kid and grabbed onto his leg. It's like, help me!
Aww.
And that slows you down. You can't run away as fast. You got a minion hooked onto your leg.
Freaking Munchkin minions. Why would they betray me? They already block me enough walking around.
I know.
That's why I buy Phantom Dancer.
That is why.
Also because I like crit chance, but
yeah,
you know.
Higher crit chance, but you can also walk through them. Disregard minions, acquire kills.
There you go. Or just play Fizz.
Oh.
Or Rift Walk over them. There's so many ways to deal with minions, guys. I don't know why you complain.
Phantom Dancer on just everything. Tank. Yeah, I'm done with this playing Rek'Sai in the jungle. Get a Phantom Dancer.
Hey, did you watch the Season 1 commentated cinematic? Phantom Dancer's on Katarina.
Ooh.
Props to those who get the reference.
That's right.
Well, top lane under fire. Body Drop getting money for hitting the turret. Why the heck not? Smoothie has very little to do here. The teleport by Seraph, though, and he is going for a sustained build.
Yeah, he needs a sustained build. He keeps getting poked out of this lane. Otter is level 6. He can Fate's Call body drop in, so Seraph needs to always be topped off, or else he risks being engaged on. 2, 3.
Wow.
That's why he's Serpentine.
All right, Inox batting 0 on Zerathult so far this game.
0 for 3. The poke style, you know, he worked out with his roam down bottom, but here's another roam.
Hold on. Ooh, whoa. Good flash by Flares. They expected that combo to work. Lost his ult for it, but at least he's going to stay alive.
It's one of those situations where you can't unburrow while in transit. You have to wait for it to complete, and it gives him enough time to flash away. So.
All right, good retreats here. Kez is 6, has already ulted once to a tunnel. TDK, though, holding a 600 gold deficit. Not too bad. They're getting farm in most of those lanes, but the kill being the big difference here. Kalista, actually, first item Zerk Greaves, interesting. Really wanted the mobility.
Yep, because her passive scales off of the rank of her boots.
Yes.
Not so much attack speed. Attack speed lets you
use
it a little more.
It does help.
But the distance is based off of your boots. So that's what he's going for, is just the mobility. Look at that. Whee!
Oh, we don't see him again.
No! But look at this. They know the flash is down. He has ulti, though.
But Vi's coming. He's got Trashy around. The ulti is popped. Doesn't do much, though. Flair's still forced to walk slowly. No ult for Graves. Will they re-engage? Trashy is 6. They don't seem to want the fight, though. Flair's without mana means they back off. Also, Azir, the first one to rotate over, gets pinged out, but they leave.
All he's doing is placing wards down, so Kyle is covering the sides. That's all they get for that. The flash is already down. They might go for this dragon, though, knowing that Trashy is about 3/4 HP. Flares does have his teleport available. He's still clearing this bottom wave.
Yeah, well, lopsided lanes means TDK gets the chance to start this dragon without much contest. Flares recalls. He does have teleport. If they can get a ward down here, Trashy
they TP to the turret.
All right, so he's not going to try for much. Inox. They're waiting. They look for the play onto Seraph. Black Shield ulti gets popped. Seraph does not have summoners. They're going to chase this one. He's not 6 either, but they can't stay under the turret that long. In comes the engage. Who's got the steal? It does go to the blue team. TDK gets dragon number 1. Inox does not get knocked up by the Janna, though. No slow by Azir either. NME have a very, very tanky Scion. Top lane outer turret goes down, and I believe Inox missed all 3 again.
Yeah, Kyle doing a good job. Zigzag. That's what you got to do. It works perfect
for him. Yep. He's going to be happy.
That was actually a 3-on-4, too.
Yeah.
So they end up just poking and disengaging. And meanwhile, nothing really happens for NME or TDK. TDK get a dragon, but
NME grew a farm lead.
Yeah.
They've gotten a ton of minions now on Otter. And you can see what you were talking about before about being a little bit hesitant and not overcommitting for objectives. NME do not give up any kills for that dragon attempt. They don't
you can go straight over that wall.
And Kez wants flares. They're trying so hard to pick off this Scion. He does not have any escape tools, but his health bar is big enough that it's not going to matter. Knocks up Kez and walks out safely. We're not holding the Scion down.
Fixes his giant's belt and walks away.
Yep.
Flashes the buckle, too. Got to do that. It's intimidating.
Oh, of course. You got to have a flashy-looking belt buckle, too, right? It has to say something like menacing on it.
I was listening to the cast earlier today with, in EU. It was like, Scion's running away, cowards! And he's running away from them.
He's referring to his summoner that was making him ult out.
Or was it 2-on-1 and calling them cowards for ganging up on him.
Yeah, that's just smart strategery, okay?
It's a legitimate strategy.
Yes! League of Legends is a team game. If you die to a 1-on-3, that's still your fault.
So somebody's like, why are you camping me? It's a legitimate strategy.
Yeah, your flash is down.
Learn to play. Back into the bush to camp them more.
Yeah. Oh, Trashy knows a ward sees him.
Where's it at?
Not that one. Checking the brush. Guessed wrong, homie.
It doesn't matter. It's pink. He sees it anyway.
Very good color matching here. The Oracle's the ward and Vi herself, but...
And Hotshot's hair.
Nice, very true. Hot pink GG. Lewis X GG. Coincidence? I think not.
Nope. Is that Illuminati?
Yep. There's so many triangles in this game, you don't even believe it.
Look at that. They just need one more. Look at between the positioning and triangulating between Otter, Body Drop, and Smoothie.
Yep.
It's a triangle.
Wow. Confirmed.
Now it's a line.
The whole time,
there it's a triangle. Boom.
You can make a triangle between any 3 nonlinear points. So, I mean, pretty much no matter what, you get triangles. Actually, question. Does it have to be an equilateral triangle to be Illuminati? Can it just like be a random obtuse triangle? Actually, I've never seen it not be an acute triangle. It's always an acute triangle.
An acute?
Yeah.
Okay.
NME, though, making some cute moves around the map. 2 turrets down so far. Zerker Greaves, BF Sword, Callista. 30 CS up, by the way, over Lewis XGG. They managed to hold that 2-on-1 for so darn long. They made it a free farm lane for Callista. Got her out of that lane easily, denied a bunch of farm to Vlad, and Sion escaped getting camped. NME, so many unsung, like, great moments by them in the laning phase.
It's a win across the board for NME off the lane swap that they made happen. Like I said, TDK, if they get out of the laning phase and
How do you go
behind,
3-0 on turrets in a lane swap?
you kill all the turrets.
Yeah.
No, you just have superior lanes where people are playing the lane swap correctly and slowly but surely getting pressure. Because it's 14 minutes in, and like you said, they have all 3 of those outer turrets. You get the pressure, you get people to take the fights in the right places, and to not engage the fights. Like, they didn't go so hard on the Dragon.
Yeah.
Was a 4-on-3, and they didn't get punished for it.
It is worth calling out that although we say it's 3-0 on turrets, there is that Dragon that TDK went for. You can argue whether it was worth it or not, but they did. So, again, you can argue that, and I'm not disagreeing, but they did make the choice to say, we want Dragon instead of, probably they would have gotten bot lane turret for it. So that was the choice they made. They got something off of the lane swap, off of the lane allocations, but gold is certainly in enemy's favor.
Yeah, and gold definitely means a lot more right now than the 6% AP and AD, at least in my mind.
You're going to change your tune when they get Dragon 5 at, you know, 34 minutes. And
oh, man. 20 minutes from now, when they pick up Dragon 5 and their Nexus is dying. It's worth it!
Hey, if you get the comeback.
Yeah, if they can get it, like, that's the thing, right? Is it's not worth anything, but it is an investment if it pays off.
Yes.
But that's
something.
Big,
not worth that
that's
much.
A big if. Yeah, it's not worth a lot, though. And, like, when you get these 3 turrets, you get money to spend on wards as well. You get money to build your next item. So they hit breakpoints and they can continue to push their lead.
Yeah. You very typically get advantages out of the turret kills. We'll see what NME turns that gold into, though.
I want to see the difference between who gets the first Dragon and who gets the first turret.
On win rate?
In win rate.
Unsure.
If there is a difference, because, you know, some teams get both.
Sure. I mean, you just count those games, right? You pick the games where they were different. And you look at the contrasted win rates there. Something we can look at some point, I'm sure. 3,500 gold lead right now. Dragon in 30 seconds. Looks like NME wants to hold the vision control here. They will not control the enemy jungle. Right now, there's actually plenty of poke coming out from Kyle as well. Will they stay for this horde? They should. And the Xerath poke, both these guys having blue buff. And health bar is going to start dropping.
I always feel like you can concede the first Dragon if you get turrets for it, then you show up for the second one with more gold. So you're ahead if the fight breaks out. You can position yourself here better. You have more gold to possibly spend on wards to cover the entryways. So all in all, it always just seems to me that the first Dragon is just not worth it in comparison if you're giving up a turret for it. But we will see, especially if it's 2. Then it's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, Dragon wanted by NME. They can make this 1-1, and you can see that no turret's really going to be answered for this. Mid lane did get pushed out just now by Kyle. NME spent a lot of resources at Dragon and didn't notice the mid lane push. They've been forced out of the river because of this. Otter not pushing bot either. NME really kind of letting their minions go, with the exception of top lane, which is being pushed by flares.
I mean, it is a Callista. He gets to kill this very quickly with his Ren.
However, Xerath split up, though. This is risky. He gets the Ren, but can they get out? TDK unwilling to start the fight. They don't actually have engage.
They have Flares top.
Nothing happens.
They're getting Seraph's TP for this. So Flares gets to do whatever he wants now. He has that level advantage. He's almost level 11. He can TP. He can ultimate into a fight. He can go ahead and stay in lane and just try to push Seraph out. It'd be very difficult against his Vlad. But he has all these options now available to him because of the TP advantage.
Wow. Unfortunately, there was no ward for a flank TP by Seraph because Inox had split himself up from the TP. He was actually stuck in mid lane. TDK could have tried to force a 5v4 with Seraph in the outskirts. Didn't happen here. Flares with a level lead and a cowl is already built to survive Seraph in lane. Looks like I want to see if pressure does happen. It's a high CDR build, but no magic pen yet. Means not a lot of damage being dealt.
Yeah, he just gets some HP back. That's about it. Trashy sees Kez. Kez sees the ward. What are they going to say about it? Looks like they're going to be pretty reserved in that and just back off. They have advantages across the board for NME. They don't want to go with a very reckless play.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen here.
Look at the items for Otter. He's already got his Runan's Hurricane, his boots too. He's very mobile, has a lot of damage output. He can shove waves phenomenally well and extremely quickly.
Yeah. And he's not far from Bloodthirster, which means life is going to be painful. Now, what I want to point out something on the other side, though, is this Graves build, because it was something I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks, and I wondered if it was going to be a real build, and it's Youmuu's first Graves. Now, think about how every caster mid laner ever builds, right? All the Zeds, the Talons, the Fioras, with the exception of things like a Ruin King for the spell or like a Hydra for like the wave clear for Fiora, they all build Armor Pen because Armor Pen is the best way to increase spell damage. Graves being a spell-based AD carry, I was wondering if we were going to see Youmuu's first Graves builds. So far tonight, we're actually seeing 2 in a row. And it makes them very spell-based because auto attacks are fairly weak, and it takes you a long time for your auto attacks to matter because there's no IE until like 7,000 gold.
Louis and Kez looking for Otter. It's very hard for...
Oh, smart. Oh, wait, it's not... Oh, Graves showed killing it. But he's not revealing his...
Didn't see Kez.
Yep, and that means
so go for Louis.
But it's a 2-on-2. Morgana came in, the flash engage, and here comes Smoothie as well. Flares on the backside, though. Body drop will land the stun onto Kez, and Kez might not have anywhere to go. Suddenly, yep, the Xerath ult will land, and it's going to be Inox picking up first kill. The re-engage with Exhaust, though, onto Smoothie. Can they make anything more happen? Oh, the bind onto Kyle. Body drop, such a good Morgana, making this happen 3-0 enemy.
Very scattered fight there, but they're going to be able to take this turret off of that fight, and a 2-for-0 in favor of NME.
Vladimir, by the way, you talk about the Seraph TP being used. He's pushing top and getting 2 waves of farm, but guess what? NME got 2 kills, a tier 2 turret, and maybe even the inhib turret for this.
They're going to keep shoving this in. They have a lot of fast damage to shove into this turret. And Louis dies!
Oh, wow! The minion once again betrays Louis GG. The Inox snipe comes in, and just like last time, a 20-minute inhibitor push.
He just cannot catch a break. Louis GG is really struggling, whether it's in lane or the 2-on-2, the 1-on-2. He's still struggling. And then in these team fights, his positioning is he's getting caught out. Things like that are very rare.
Yeah. Well, the lane counter pick not happening at all thanks to a lane swap by NME. They got 3 turrets from the lane swap as well and their mid lane pressure. And all they gave up for this entire game has been 1 dragon.
We're going to see that again. They didn't know Kez was in there, so Kez actually flashes to get onto Otter. So Otter is now disengaged. Kez can no longer close this distance because it is almost impossible to close on a Kalista as a Rek'Sai after using your move block. And now, Trashy, I thought he was going to go on Kyle here. But he goes for Smoothie, and instead they get the CC they need onto Kyle. Right there, the binding into the decimating slam. Really good lock up there on Kyle to stop him from outputting damage for the rest of the fight.
Body drop's target switching was just very, very sexy there, and a very well-earned fight as a result. Wards get cleared out for both sides. We sit on a 6,000 gold lead 21 minutes in for NME. Now, where's their next point of pressure? Bot inhib is already dead, and with minions that scary, it's going to take a lot of effort to clear out.
Immediately to the top lane here. Kill all these Rek'Sai tunnels, get a little bit of gold on your support. But that's not the big thing. The big thing is everybody is moving towards this part of the map because they have a dominant gold lead. They have this bottom lane shoving. Seraph now has his TP, but they have the damage to take out this turret very quickly.
You see, though, still some respect is given. You have to remember the fact that Azir can knock you in. You still have a lot of burst coming out that is available from Vajana shielded Graves. Once again, the bind onto Kyle. All 3 shots there. Gonna just needed to warm up for a bit, and he made it all happen.
That's
wave getting cleared.
That's their big wave clear gone. Louis might have to blow his ultimate this wave to clear it. But look at that, here comes the engage. Otter throwing him out.
So much threat by Body Drop landed the Binding Flares, gets a stun onto Kez as well, and they will destroy Smoothie. 5-0 in this game. They've got another wave coming soon if they want to take down the inhibitor turret as well.
Sucking that Smoothie through a straw after that one. He was completely just destroyed. Now they get to push this. Seraph has been MIA for the last couple fights.
Yeah.
He's just off doing other things. He TP'd, but like nothing comes of it. His TP is not very impactful on this Vladimir.
NME absolutely outplaying this game. The 23-minute siege, all the damage coming out from Sion, Xerath, and Morgana binding as well. They're looking for inhibitor turret number 2, 23 minutes in. A lane lead turns into just crushing advantages. They are not letting up at all. And now 23 minutes in, inhibitor under fire. Kez goes in, it's a 5v5, but first kill comes in already. Flair's forced to run away though. Seraph ult is on him, but he's gonna go drop down so fast. Body drop doesn't even die for the trouble, so 2-0. Now Otter though does get shut down. Finally, a kill picked up for TDK.
That was his last spell that you could cast there. NACS has his ultimate available, but he doesn't have the mana for it. Oh, there he goes! Boo!
Kez, Kyle! All right, he dodges. Given the chance, Kyle does dodge very, very well. You can see the mechanics of the players on TDK, but the problem is, NME play this game so much better strategically, from the lane swap to the sieges afterwards.
Yeah, and when you get behind in a lane swap like that, you give up all those turrets, and then you're against a team that knows how to get vision control of where they're headed. Look at that topside jungle where they were just at. They gave themselves so many options. They were like, you can't flank us. We'll know when Seraph is TPing. We have the coverage here. Even if they wanted, like they couldn't get that top lane turret, they'd be like, okay, we can rotate middle and then jump between the two. They set themselves up for something that didn't happen, but they had the option to do that. It's really, they were able to push that off of hitting Kyle out.
Yeah. And what's cool is those wards might last just long enough for them to take Baron afterwards.
Oh.
Solo kill. Dang. NACS just straight destroys Seraph there, and they're going to take mid lane turret. Like, they're taking 3 objectives at the same time. Kalista's setting up Baron. Dragon's going down to Trashy right now, and mid lane's already under fire.
Just all across the board here, NME are looking really good in this matchup. Yesterday, they had a game where it was 30 kills to 10, and it ended in 36 minutes. Today, it looks like it's going to be a lot faster than that.
Not many fantasy points for the NME players out there. Actually, none, because you can't pick them. It's Challenger Series. Good call, right, Freak? I know.
You used to be able to pick flares, though. He was in it for a week.
Wouldn't count for this game, though. It should be a pretty quick Baron grab. Otter presses E, and Baron killed. Kez gets rooted, flashes and tunnels away. He's going to live, but NME now wearing a Baron buff 25 minutes and 20 seconds in. Bottom inhib respawn. Top lane inhib never seemed to go down, because they did lose the fight after all.
Now they have multiple places to apply pressure. Flares has his teleport back up. And here's the thing, too, is they don't even have huge level or experience leads on NME's side. It's not like anybody's running away with the game in kills or CS. Yeah, it's really just the objectives. The objective calling is what is getting them this huge lead. It's those turrets, right? Seraph is actually up in CS by 50 because he's been split pushing. And then you look at Otter, he's up by about 20. But there's no huge, like, somebody's getting crushed just CS-wise. It's all about these turrets and the team play from NME.
And they're going to show themselves now for another turret mid lane. The only left up inhibitor turret. They want it with the Baron buff. Minions taking some turret shots here. Kez looking for a flank. Gets spotted out by Trashy. He's got to be careful. Ballbreaker shreds the armor. 10,000 gold lead plus a Xerath siege. Now, blue buff is up for the taking. They're not looking for it just yet, though.
No, they're looking for flares to apply pressure onto this top lane inhibitor, and they might move bottom, but they also have the option of sieging middle. Xerath has such great siege options, and here he goes again. Kyle takes 1.
Takes 2, but he's going to survive overall. However, it gives him enough time to push down the mid lane because Azir is out of the fight. Down goes the turret. Inhibitor under fire. Seraph gets caught out. Ren takes the kill. That's a lot of people now not able to fight back as NME looks for a double inhibitor take at the same time. Otter picks up 1.
They could go
there we go.
They could go for 3 inhibitors here.
Sure, the bottom one is unturreted at all. There's a mini wave looking at the Nexus right now as well, but looks like close bind. Triple inhib, safe advantage. Why the heck not? Baron's still here for a minute, which means they can push in the succeeding minion waves now. And it's just minions all over the place. Not much TDK can do right now. Louis forced to back away. Poke from Xerath pushing him out. Flare's gonna TP in from the base after he buys one more item. Buys a Haunting Guise just for fun. Gets a mask for his Scion. There's every turret possibly able to be killed. In comes the Nexus push. 27.5 minutes. NME never let up all game. 1 kill, 1 turret, 1 dragon. That's it.
Very dominating, commanding lead there. Not off of playing team fights until they already had a big advantage, right? You get those tiny advantages, create them, make them even larger, off of getting turrets, off of rotating, knowing they can't fight you. The threat of a fight It's kind of like old Nidalee with the Xerath in the middle there. Threw his ultimate out, not to get kills, but to at least do damage to their wave clear, and then their wave clear backs off, free turrets.
Yeah. I'm just very impressed with the enemy shot calling.
Yeah.
The things they did well. Outplayed the lane swap, outplayed the mid lane, outplayed the second half of the lane swap where they pushed down to bottom turret because they already have an item lead on their AD carry. They outplayed with the TP advantages. Knowing Seraphs is down, they pick a fight in the extended long lane and teleport their Scion down there, knowing it's 5v4, knowing it's going to work out.
Is crazy. This is a team that you need to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
They're 2-0 right now. They played against TDK twice, won in 36 minutes, cut that 10 minutes off of that, ended in 27. They look really good right now. This is the team to beat in Challenger.
Well, so far they're alone in first place at 2-0. Obviously, very early on, we in fact still have a game 2 to come up.
There are only 10 games, though.
Sure,
There
right.
are only 10 games before playoffs.
Right.
So you already start out 2-0. You're off to a really good start. You can't start off going like 1-4 and then being like, all right, we're going to come back. You have to be good right out of the gate here.
I know, exactly. It's a fairly short season. They qualified in, and if you want to get those top spots so you can make it into the playoffs, qualify for an LCS spot doing all this. So NME 2-0. A couple teams behind them at 1-1. TDK, unfortunately, though, to a slow start. You mentioned the fact that with it being a short season, you've got to kick it into gear very quickly. I do agree TDK needs some strategic work. Kez being their shot caller, having played multiple splits in the LCS, you expect him to have a bit of a better showing here on that side, but overall, their lane assignments were weak. The Vladimir never got off the ground because there's no team fight from the back off to sort of back up from. It's a damage dealer. He got as far by split pushing, but the rest of his team fell apart in front of him.
Yeah, and TDK weren't really able to do any damage control, and I think Louis is a big part of that. He's not winning the 2-on-2s. He's downright losing them and dying. And then in lane swaps, he's still not playing them 100% correctly. He's like 70% of the way there. But when you're the AD carry and you make one misstep versus a bruiser who can outduel you, you're going to feel that pain. And if you don't have enough ward coverage, like your support should ward for you and then leave.
Right.
Or else you're not covered. You can't shove up. You can't deny CS from the top laner.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things here that kind of amalgamated into this big lead that they ended up with on NME's side.
Yeah.
But not to take anything away from NME. They played this
so well.
Crazy well. That was a really impressive and clean game.
Yeah.
Just all through every lane. Like I'm thinking back on it. Like, Trashy was in the right places at the right time. He knew where to be. Inox did a really good job of roaming on a Xerath in a lane swap. Like usually in lane swaps, mid laners just clashed each other forever.
Yeah.
And it was like, nope, going bottom. And then he made it happen. He gave his team that avenue into the game. I thought that was really well done by all of NME across the board.
I agree. So, great start by NME. 2-0 first place team in the NA Challenger Series so far. Guys, we're going to take our final break of the evening, and when we come back, the TSM and CLG rivalry returns and makes its Challenger debut. CLG Black and TSM Darkness go head-to-head right after this. Don't go anywhere. Burns to someone heal from boost speed, but wow, that shout on the minions means first blood for Trashy. Suddenly, yep, the Xerath ult will land, and it's going to be Inox picking up first kill. The re-engage with Exhaust, though, onto Smoothie. Can they make anything more happen? Oh, the bind onto Kyle.
Fast damage to shove into this turret, and Louis dies!
Oh, wow, the minion once again. Kez goes in. It's a 5v5, but first kill comes in already. Flair's forced to run away, though. Seraph ult is on him, but he's going to go drop down so fast. Body drop doesn't even die for the trouble.